Yo guys, what is up? It is Teacher's Game 2 coming at you again with another video, and I am here to show you how to build this lovely little turret boat behind me. It's a really fun design, super easy to use. I've got the turrets turned off right now, obviously, but you can see that at one point in time, this will operate quite easily, and it's totally surrounded on all sides. I've left the back open so you can see that there's no like cheaty stuff going on, and that's kind of just how it is. So I'm going to show you how to build this guy. Really all you need is some basic metal stuff and turrets. That's all you need. So obviously you can see it off to the side over there. We're going to go ahead and grab this, and then afterwards I'm going to give you a little bonus, and I'm going to show you how to make yourself a XPLANT boat for early off in the game as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Obviously, first and foremost, plop down your boat. And then the next part is super easy. Basically, you're just going to stare down at it, take that sail down, because first off, that gives you away. You should do that no matter what right away. And you are going to go ahead and place. See how I've got this right in the middle? Right there. As you are latched on. Now we're going to sink our foundations just a little bit down. And right there. And as you can see, we do that right there. Pick these guys up, and we're just going to rinse and repeat this process. I usually only go down to this level right here because I don't really like going much further down, but that's up to you. If you want to go another level down, you could easily do that. I just personally don't think it's necessary, but you know, to each their own. Now, we're going to go ahead and leave this one off for right now, this middle one, but you'll see why in a second here. Usually what I do, just like this, plop this ceiling on top, and I leave that there so I can place down my generator. And I always place this down first just so I know where I'm building, so on and so forth. And there's my generator right there. Go ahead and put up my vertical wire. Vertical is important on this one. Toss this guy down, and I will go ahead and even put some gas in here so you guys can see how it works as we do it. Now, put up your walls just on the outside, and this is just a too tall, super easy, super cheap, kind of like turret raid boat. Nothing super special about it, but it's really customizable however you want. There's plenty of stuff left over for you to build. If you really wanted to build more into this thing, you could do it quite easily. As you can see, right here, we're closing off the ceiling because there's nothing worse than getting attacked from above. And the benefit, look at that, just underneath, so they can't just, attack your wires and stuff like that. So, right there, now we're going to put this last finishing touch to finish our little box right here. Door, and other door, right there. You can see totally enclosed box, super safe, super easy to use so far. And what I always do, just, it makes me feel better. I always turn these things into block. Just because then I know I know that I've got everything covered on the outside. Super, I don't know, it's just an OCD kind of thing. I like how it looks too, so that way I don't see the raft at all. I don't know, it just makes me feel like it feels better. Nothing, no really stuff that it does, but it makes me feel like a 3x3 box. Now, how you access the raft if you've never built like this before, you swim underneath it, you look up right here, and you hop up into the driver's seat. Really easy to do when you're in the water. It's also super safe. That way, if someone's chasing you, you just swim up. You don't have to worry about opening your doors. None of that stuff. You literally just hop up and in. Really, really handy. Nothing you can really pass up. So let's go ahead and show you how to put the turrets on. All right, so what we're going to do is going to go take our giant hatch frames. We do two things right here. One, we're going to stick these front to or back to. It's your choice. I have this one, as you can see, this is the back of my boat right here. Just like this. I'm going to place these on this level lowest to the water. Now the reason I'm doing that is because when people are chasing you, they're typically following behind you and they're not above you. Sometimes they are, but not always. And you just put these two back here so you get better shots off on these things. Now the next thing you're going to do, you're going to place these next to up high, one out in front like you see right here, just like that. And we're going to take the other one and do the exact same thing on the other side. It's a great trolling boat for this reason because you've got lots of coverage, super cheap, easy to make, no complaints. I mean, it really is just an easy boat to make. We're going to go ahead and swim to the shore here and put up our turrets so I can show you how I place those. Now, the reason we put the Jenny in the middle is because if you put a turret on the corner here, I guess I need to move it a little bit closer. It will actually cover this turret. And I'll move it right here just to see if it'll hit it right there. It will not. Pick up this guy, and we'll go ahead and move these to the corners right now then. So, just like this, you can see, you can turn that guy on. And what you'll have to do is you'll have to move the extension wires to the corners that you don't hit. and just so you can get turrets placed down these outside corners as well. So just make the thing on the inside with some not vertical, but cross wires, whatever you want to call them, the intersections. Put those up and you will be good to go on these corners. Super nice to use. That way you've got more turret coverage. More turrets equals less death for you. Up to you, obviously, but I would. Now, got this guy there, just so you can see. Turn him on, hovers over the water. A lot of coverage on this thing. Not much value, but you can put some vaults inside of it as well. It's a customizable boat, so I'm going to let you customize it how you want before I, try and tell you what to do. You can do what you want with this boat, which is kind of the cool design behind it. Just like that. And we'll place one more right up against the edge right here. Right. Come on. Latch on. There it is. Right there. Really? You're going to do that to me? Fine. He's like, oh, whatever. So you cannot build them inside the things. This is a new thing where it kind of just demolishes it, which kind of sucks. There you go, just like that. And you've got the turret coverage there now. Now what you're going to do is the next part, really easy. You just go into the water and it allows you to place these things. For some reason, turrets are really hard to place, but when you go into the water, it's nice and smooth and you don't really have to look very far. Kind of helpful, obviously, when you're trying to place things. You do want to pull it out on the hatch frame because you want to let this thing shoot down beneath you as well in case someone is down beneath you. And just like that, da-da-da. Pull that guy up, go to this corner. Right. Oh, right there. There it is. That'll work just fine. And you just place 4 there, and we're going to do the next thing, the next 4 right over here. And then I'll show you a next option that'll help you defend your boat, but it's obviously entirely up to you. And we'll do this. This is also something you can live on. You don't just need to use it as a troll boat, obviously, but that's what I use it for, so it's up to you. Put this guy down, da-da-da, right there. Put the last one down. Where am I getting stuck on? There's nothing there. Oh well, it's arc. There we go, just like that. Now, unless you want to build a ladder, which I would suggest against doing, I would just take a bird or whatever bird you do have to fly up on top of this thing, and that'll kind of show you the next step as well. So right here, da-da-da, just like this. Go ahead and hop off. That way you can turn all your turrets on. It's up to you how you do that. I usually just jump over the top of them until it lets me on, and then I kind of move based on the lag spike. That was fun. There we go. So I got up and onto it, turn it on. This one's not close, so I'll have to move the turrets again just a touch in order to make it work. But you can see what the point is right now, so that's the important thing. Now you can move these wires however you want. You can also move the generator so it's not in the middle. That's obviously up to you, because if it's not in the middle, one of the things that'll help you out in regards to that is you can actually place a little bit more housing stuff on the inside of it. I just like placing it in the middle because I like to cover as many turrets as I can with this thing, but obviously it's up to you. Come on, drop down, drop down, drop down. There we go. You can see all these turrets are up and running. Now what I'll do is I'll take my bird, fly backwards, and you don't have to put these down again. I don't like, even though some people complain about it, I don't like it when people can land on top of my boat, so I'll put some spikes down usually. You don't have to. It's something that can help. So I'll go ahead and show you how I would place those if I was you. Go ahead and grab them here, put them in our inventory. And basically, I take them on the corners back here, just like this, because I don't want to totally block off my turrets, which is a really, you want to avoid that as much as possible. So I kind of just take them and put them on my backside so people can't like glide up next to me. And then I'll also place one just right up the middle. Now, just like, oh, right about there, sounds perfect. Now you'll notice that it's right in the middle, so people can't really land and hop off super well. You can if you really wanted to. I mean, if you're like, hey, I'm not comfortable with just one, you could easily place another one right there, and it's entirely up to you. But that's something that you'd have to actually decide that you wanted to do. You can place as many as you want up here. I think that it's excessive to go more than 3 because you're just trying to protect yourself from getting landed on. That's really the only point of that, I guess, is a good way to put it. Just like that. And it doesn't look super pretty, but as you can see, I can't land on there, and if I try to, I'm going to hop off and get killed by those spikes and just get mashed back and forth, which is not a good thing when you're trying to attack. So that is the super simple, easy to use, cheap raft boat. Nothing super fancy, nothing super, dangerous about it, but super fun. It's a good troll boat. You can move this guy a little bit further back and he cuts coverage. Now I'll go ahead and show you how to use the Plant X boat, which is a really fun one as well. It's an early game stuff, and let's go ahead and check that guy out. All right, so now we've got these boats ready. Now, if you're early game or you just want to, go around and have some fun, the best thing you can do for yourself is build yourself an early game plant species X boat. These are just a lot of fun to use. I'm going to go ahead and transfer all these things into my inventory because, well, kind of need them. Don't need a generator on this boat. Don't need these guys either. So I usually go ahead and take them and switch them out just like so. Don't even really need pillars, but you can if you want to. You don't have to sink these down. These are like early game fun to just troll around, or if you're just bored someday. Plant X are really a pain in the butt because they slow you down, they lock you in place, not much you can do about it. And we're going to start this the same way we did the other one. So that way you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I only sink this guy down 1 or 2 because, if you're going to be on this boat, you got to accept the fact that it's probably going to get sunk by somebody. So that's just something you want to accept. But up to you, obviously. Da-da-da. And just like the last one, we're going to be able to access the middle. That's what we want to do. We don't really need to focus in on the middle one here or put anything there, so we can still drive it from the middle, but that's up to you. And now this next part is where it gets a little bit different than the other one. Now, there are a lot of ways to build this boat. That's what I'm going to tell you ahead of time. People do the tower technique. What I'm about to show you is the tower technique. Now, it's up to you how you do this, but what I will say, the tower technique is something that I have always used and has worked well. Go ahead and add these guys into my inventory down here. Now, the tower technique, what you do is actually really easy. Go ahead and put up this giant looking thing right here, and you're basically going to, just as you see here, put a tower in the middle of your boat. Now, this tower is also going to have things around the outside of it, so that way it's not just something that can be run over. Go ahead and put our wheelhouse down right here. And basically, you're going to take this right here, the ceilings, and use them as little plant species X holders. I'm inside the boat. As you can see, only one way in, one way out. I'm going to go ahead and place a couple extra back here because you want to maximize the number of plant X you can put on this guy. Now, just like you see here, I am maximizing every inch I have on this boat because it is basically just going to be filled with death, which is kind of fun to think about because it's just a pain in the butt. It really is, because when you run into one of these things, you're like, really, dude, come on. It's not easy to attack them because they lock you down. Even Rexes aren't even the greatest to attack these with. And you want to see how I'm staggering these things? You want to stagger them so that way they don't block the water from rain. You want to get as much rain as possible on these things. So we're going to go ahead and place down our plant species X plots, our large crop plots just like this. As you can see, super easy to build. You're just staying out of the way so they're not covered. Right here is not covered. You'll notice right there is. We're going to place this guy in the next level up. It's not going to let me go out, is it? Maybe it will. There we go. That'll do. Crouch, obviously. Place your next one down right here. And you can start to see there are a lot of Plant X on this boat that are totally not covering each other up, and they all cover each other. So it's a really big pain in the butt to have to face a boat like this because you might get 1 or 2 of them, but then those other 9, 10, 11 are going to shoot at you, and there's nothing worse than just getting pinned by a ton of plant species X. And what you're going to do on the top, I'm going to go ahead and take my Griffin down just 1 more level, so that way I can actually hop off here like this, and we're going to place 4 on the top, which is kind of a little bit of a curveball, I suppose. Oh, wow, not what I wanted to do. Why did it even let me place it there? That's kind of funky. Got like stuck there, but oh well. You can see that I'm placing this guy down. What is going on? It's like causing me to click out. Whatever. You know it's Arc. Place this guy here. Place this guy here. And obviously, as you can see, we have ourselves a little death boat. Now, what I do in order to start this guy up is I actually take a irrigation pipe, and the one that I have down here, and I'm going to go ahead and take this guy, and I'm going to push it right up through the middle of this boat, so that way I can park it on this thing. I have everything that I need right here, and I just go straight up. You can put it on either side, doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot. I'm just going to put it here so I can show you, just like this. Da, da, da. And then you put a irrigation thing right there, and up on top, you'll notice it covers pretty much everything. You'll just drive your boat quite literally into this pipe, so that way everything gets watered. Just put it right in the center of your boat. You're just going to do a big U-ey. Obviously, as you can see, boats kind of, they turn like boats, no pun intended. They just take wide circles, do your 360, and go back over to this landing spot, and you just use this as like a docking point, so that way whenever you're not online, these X-plants can't even lose water if they wanted to, and put it right in the middle of your boat like that. You'll notice this guy's in the center of the boat. Doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot. And water is falling down on them, and they are suddenly irrigated. Perfect, right? Now this boat is super fun to use. I'm going to go ahead and load it up with some XPLANT. It's going to take me a second. I'm not going to make you watch all that, but I'll bring you back as soon as I do. All right, so here's the finished product, guys. You can see these XPLANTs are just finishing growing right now. Look at how much coverage I have. They're all not hindering each other, and they all launch themselves at everything. It's a lot of fun to use this boat. You can park this one next to that one, and you've got yourself a scary little duo. As a matter of fact, I'll park them next to each other so you can see. If you have one guy in the XPLANT boat to slow everything down, another guy in the turret boat to shoot everything, you have yourself a combination of death. A lot of fun to use. Nothing's, I'm going to have to destroy a wall, aren't I, to get inside of this because I parked it like an idiot, but oh well. You can see the point here. Boom, just like that. I've left my pillar here to water everything. I'll go ahead and do a rotational here. You can see I've got this middle boat just to give you that example. I'm going to park this guy next to this one, and you can see how hilarious it is to have to face a boat set like this. Not something you want to do because it will end in death, and that's not something you obviously want. So you can, if you want to, put those things down on the bottom. Switch to block mode. You see it covers everything, so you're good on that. Switch to block mode. Switch to block mode. And hopefully this little video helped you out to kind of teach you a couple of different things that you can use in order to make some defensive boats. These are hilarious structures. I use them this way, but they're a lot of fun to build. And hopefully this video helped you out. Anyways, Teacher's Game 2, out.